Station Gang? Welcome to Supreme Clientele, episode 46 here, one day shy of our Independence Day. Hope everybody is doing well out there in TV land. It's so good to see all of y'all tonight. Tonight we have a very special guest. I told him back, chat. I've been a fan and respected this dude's movement so long, not just what he has to say about comics, but some of the shows he's done on addiction and just how honest and real he's been with the comic book community. One of my favorite members. I'm so glad to have him here tonight, Scottie Vaughn, ladies and gentlemen. Scottie, how you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here hanging out with you guys.
Hell yeah, absolutely. And of course, joined as always by my co-host, my brother Link. Link, Station Bro, good to see you. How you doing tonight?
Sorry. Good. Glad to be here talking comics.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. How's everybody's week been? Scottie, how's your week been, bro? I know we got Independence Day tomorrow, trying to beat the heat out there. How's everything been going for you, bro?
It's been busy, but it's been good, man. It's been a good week so far. I'm just ready to do this all week. I've been looking forward to it, but I work in grocery retail, so it's been a crazy week. I'm good, man. I'm good.
You guys still got anything left on the shelves, or how are we looking?
Oh yeah, we're still looking good.
Oh yeah, awesome. Link, how about you, bro? How's your week been so far, man?
Can't complain. Ready to eat some good grilled food tomorrow. Still up in the air about the fireworks, but
what you got? So what you got on tap, bro? I know Scottie and I are working till about 3 or 4, and they're just gonna take it easy. What you got? What you got going on, bro?
I'm going to my family's about like an hour away from me, but yeah, it's like my family's hometown, so you know.
Hell yeah, bro! Nice cookout, fireworks, all that. That sounds great, dude.
Yeah, that does.
Better than my 4th for sure. Well, I hope you enjoy that, bro. Make sure you travel safe out there. Bunch of crazies on the road. Real quick, let's say what up to the chat. We got a bunch of comics to get into tonight, so I thought we'd get straight to the chicken, but real quick, we got to say what up to y'all. Of course. We got my bro Fable in the house, Fable Station, man. Good to see you, brother. Oh yeah, Scottie in the house, man. Of course, we got our brother James Felt, Station, bro, Station James. Always good to see you, man. Our boy E Station, Sal. What up, brother? All the homies are in here. We got a new follower tonight, Mellow Dope. Appreciate you coming out. Good to see you. Thank you for following. Hell yeah. All right, man. Hope everybody's doing well. Y'all let me know what you're doing for the 4th in the chat, man. I wanna know y'all's holiday plans. Hope everybody's doing well here on this Wednesday. All right, but yeah, let's get into our new comics. We got a gang of them.
Sweet.
Ooh, check out this comic book.
Ooh, are these new?
All right, guys. I didn't foresee myself starting off with this book on this week's episode of Supreme Clientele, much less reading this one. But I got to give props to my man E. He kept me interested. Hearing E talk positively about this book and how it's kept him around really brought me back. A really solid issue, one of my favorites so far. By the way, Pepe Larraz, the work he's doing on this book, man, freaking phenomenal. Really like next level stuff. I just want to shout him out early and often. But yeah, this book is continues to surprise me, man. And McKay's doing some really strong writing. I don't know if parts of this storyline kind of hindered what he's got going on with Avengers or kind of hamstrung that, but I don't know. I feel like he's really in his stride and checking all those boxes here. It feels like a really, really strong book from him. And like I said, each issue continues to get better, continues to surprise me. I know we're headed to the conclusion here, but regardless, this one has been a pleasant book hanging around that I really didn't think I would be still into by issue 4. So I got to give it up to Marvel and the House of Ideas for this one. And the variant covers have been fantastic. We got Momoko, but a bunch of connecting variants. Del Otto, like this masterpiece Del Otto's painting in this connecting variants, y'all. I got some of it as the background, I think. Hold on. Look at that. And that's just like
beautiful.
A little bit of it. That's not even the our full picture. So yeah, they've done a really good job with the covers. But Yeah, I'll start it off with our guest, Scotty. Dude, how you feeling about Blood Hunt? Was this something you were looking forward to, planning on buying every issue of? And has it surprised you, let you down? How you feeling about this one so far? Issue 4.
Yeah. Well, I was looking forward to a good event. I was me personally, I was ready for a good event. So when I heard that Blood Hunt was coming out, I was going to give it a try. And I've been picking up the main red bands, and I've been picking up some of the tie-ins, and I've really been enjoying it for the most part. I think some of the tie-ins you could definitely skip. But the main Blood Hunt, I would say definitely pick up the red band, and it's been good, man. I've been enjoying it so far.
Have you been enjoying the red band versus like the normal book? Like, have you feel like you've been getting your money's worth with the red band?
Yeah, I think it's worth the extra $1 because, like with issue 1, I picked up a couple of variants, and I did compare the 2 books, and I do think it's worth the extra $1. And I've compared each issue. There's a few differences. It's not like the differences in the later issues aren't as drastic, but it's still, I think it's still worth it to pick up the red band over the regular.
Yeah. Definitely that issue 1, bro. How he dispatches Doctor Strange is so much better in the red band than the in the the normal one. It's dope, but the red band is definitely worth that $1. Hell yeah.
I think
like
so.
how about you, bro? How you been feeling about the series as a whole, and just your thoughts going in and where we're at?
I feel like it's pointless. I feel like people are trying to justify it being somewhat important at this point. This reminds me of like Heroes Reborn or any other many Marvel event that's come out over the last couple of years, where it could have just been an arc of a specific title, as opposed to them trying to cash in on like, let's make it an event. Like, I finished this issue and I was like, to be concluded. Like, what the fuck has really happened? What are we wrapping up? Like it's been a lot of like flair, a lot of great art, but I'm not sold.
I feel you.
Yeah,
it's a fair point.
Event fatigued for a few years between the big two, to be honest, but I'm not feeling this one. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it should be an event book. It's not worthy of being an event book. I feel like this has been like, I mean, it's kind of obvious. I feel like we stated it like when the first issue came out, like, Blade's possessed, surprise. Blade's not actually evil, he's possessed. Oh, didn't see that coming. They seem like they might be setting up Blade's daughter for a solo series. Blade's obviously going to come back if he bites it at the end of this, but it seems like they might be, if she has to kill him, she's obviously going to take his spot. Great setup for a new character. And if the rumors are to be believed about like the first couple drafts with the Blade movie, why Mahershala was upset with it was because he was kind of like a side character in his own movie. Maybe it's because they were setting up his, like, the idea of Blade's daughter has been around for like the last 10 years. Tim Seeley was supposed to do a Blade's daughter series back in 2015, right after Secret Wars, but because of certain stipulations or things going on, it didn't end up coming about. But they had like character sketches for her and everything. So I don't know. Maybe they were like,
Tim Seeley would definitely do the character justice for sure.
Yeah, hack slash. He's familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. Maybe the movie is like gonna try to set up his daughter, and he's cool with that because, like I said, Mahershala Ali is older than Wesley Snipes was when he would have done a third Blade movie. He never did a third Blade movie, but had he done it, Mahershala Ali is older than Wesley Snipes that would have been at that point. So, maybe the idea is to like do a cool Blade movie, but set up his daughter at the same time, in case he's like in his mid to early 50s, like what how long has he got?
I don't know. And the one thing I do wonder about it at Marvel is Joe Quesada leaving and Feige stepping in his place as the chief creative officer. And I don't know, it feels like he has a very vague, like a vague imprint / direction. Like everything feels so disjointed. We talk about that before, but I completely agree with you. Like I think this didn't necessarily need to be an event. And my biggest issue, I think, with it as a whole is just the whole Blade back and forth. I thought we had such a strong series, at least initially from Brian Hill. Then it kind of got mired in
for this
editorial. Yeah. Well, and also like they just wasted some of those issues, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like throwing the Hulk in that run for in that issue.
Well,
for
I mean,
no reason. And
if in that defense, like maybe he was cut short, like he was told he was going to have a longer series, so he had room to play around with like the Hulk issues or something like that. But then when he gets cut off, right after a fucking year, it's like, bro, like I had ideas. Like, what are you going to do in a year if it's not like a match?
Yeah.
It wasn't billed as like a 12-issue series. They made it seem like it was going to be a monthly, go on for as long as it does. But no, obviously it was like set up for this. And I don't know. They were going to sweep it under the rug. What's the next event? I don't see any lasting ramifications coming from this, to be honest, besides Blade's daughter being more prominent, which would be cool. But, I really feel like that's what this has been a vehicle to set her up for a larger status quo.
Yeah.
After that.
yeah.
Scotty,
so. did you read the Brian Hill Blade series?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I've never really read a whole lot of Blade stuff, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. It started strong, but I feel like by the end of it, it got so disjointed and like, a lot of their stuff just pulled in so many directions, and he kind of felt upset with it. So it's interesting that, I think a week or two ago, it got announced that he was getting a Red Band Blade series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I feel like they already dropped the ball with him one time. But yeah, again, I got some of these cover credits wrong, guys. So forgive me. Those first two aren't right. That's Pepe Larraz on the main cover, and I think I forget the guy's name, but he's doing all these different Fang type variants for each issue. Then these are correct. I think the rest of these Peach, and then Tony S. Daniel killing it. Man, Tony's got a bunch of great Marvel variants out right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Delato and Keal New.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the Delato connecting variant. Y'all keep an eye out for those. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So we start off with this was my favorite part of the issue. Shocker. We get some Doom, man, and Doom's written well here. I really appreciated this. Taking assessment of the situation. I love this doctor to doctor. You can tell me, Steven. And basically like our backs are against the wall. Bros Varney, he's possessed by the spirit of Varney. Right here, nice again, Pepe throughout, dude. So many, like whether it's close-ups, big epic splashes, like these huge dark ancient temples, like the Atlantean temples. I just thought like there was never a dull page in this art-wise. You know what I mean? And it's without a doubt the book's one saving grace. Inja, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. I was late waiting on you. But yeah. So Doom, they're trying to formulate a plan of attack, figure out how they're gonna contact this, or I guess form a team to make contact with Varney, and any chance that they could possibly have is going to have to start with some huge epic level magical incantation. But yeah, so they figure out that Blade has been made the perfect vessel. Again, I love Larraz's close up right there; just looks so sharp. Yeah, and we still got. I keep forgetting we got. Go ahead, bro.
I did the whole astral form of Strange with.
I keep forgetting about it. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he's still in astral form because he got his shit split. Yep. But yeah, I love this. Like, as it was before, I think this was the case in like X-Men back when Orcus was going crazy, somehow Latveria was safe from harm. You know what I mean? Doom always takes precautions to protect his people. Say what you want, man, but the past two big Marvel events, X-Men and Blood Hunt, people have Latveria been sleeping safe.
Latveria's safe space, bro. Like that.
You know what I'm saying?
It goes down.
I just love that little line. You know, that wasn't necessary. You didn't need to include that. It was just a great, just a great little line, dude. A throwback to classic Doom. So, yeah. Verno, what up, bro? Station, bro. Good to see you. But yeah, so here they're trying to get, like, you know, their plan in motion. And I love this again. Like, we get Strange Academy, and it looks Humberto Ramos-esque. Like, he nails, I feel like, the aesthetic. Such a great job by Pepe. And I love this this book by obviously Ramos and Scottie Young. So this is great to see that squad show up and know that they're going to be part of the fight. Scott, did you read Strange Academy? Did you enjoy that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reading most of the tie-ins, most of the one-shots. The only thing I'm not reading, I kind of wish I was reading the Doctor Strange now, but I'm not reading it, and I'm not reading Black Panther. But other than that, I'm pretty much reading everything.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. My boy E keeps talking about how good Doctor Strange is, but I've been asleep on that. I liked his Death of Doctor Strange stuff too. I don't know. I started on that and then I fell off at like issue 4 or 5 and I never got back on the train.
I just wasn't on the run anyway, so I just skipped over that part, but I kind of wish I picked it up now.
And dude, you know you're gonna really regret it later on with those Alex Ross covers, man. It's like Immortal Hulk, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just
some great covers.
It doesn't make it easy, yeah.
I know, it really doesn't.
For sure. But yeah, so Doom, of course, Doom has just one simple prerequisite for his plan. He needs to be made the Sorcerer Supreme, which I don't think is a wild request, and obviously you can trust him. I like that little nod to him right before we get into Khonshu. Like this was one of my favorite parts of the issue. Khonshu's jailbreak right here, courtesy of the Wrecker. But yeah, so you know he's like, you have no power to open this door. You don't have the keys for these locks. This is bigger than you, right? What else to break you out of an Asgardian prison than an Asgardian crowbar? I love Wrecker's appearance right here. This was dope, man. Dope little moment. Yeah, so Khonshu is free. We're gonna see the ramifications of that here in a minute. And we kind of head towards the end of the issue with our little shit talking blade on the top of the ancient Atlantean vampiric structure, I guess we'll call it. Kind of absorbing the dark force, becoming the unliving dark force, as it were. And then we see Khonshu's jailbreak, the results from that. The moon appears out of nowhere. I love this moment. Did y'all like this part, regardless of do you like this regardless how you felt about the issue?
I'm a Moon Knight fan, so yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. This was dope.
But there's a moment at the end of the issue. We'll get to them. Just I'm like, really? Like, I know it's comic books, but really? But we'll get to it.
All right, fair enough. Scotty, how about you, bro? Did you like this part?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So all the old Moon Knights come back, all the undead ones coming back, joining the fight. Yeah, absolutely. Led by none other than, the Fist of Khonshu
that
himself.
part's pretty sweet. Yeah, I remember thinking that was pretty awesome.
I like the design, but I couldn't help but feel like keep the mask white. Like, that's been like, because if he loses his cowl and shit, and he's going to have like primarily black on, and the whole idea of Moon Knight is he wants you to see him coming. He wants you to notice his ass, so it's like, they keep like maybe more the face white, but I feel like overall the design is dope as hell though.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we get Black Panther kind of bum rushing Blade, making his attempt at him, and we wonder why he was able to do this, because obviously he did have Varney's blood in him, or whatever, and should be under total control of him. But he reminds him that he ate the heart-shaped herb, and that his body's been fighting back this infection bit by bit and healing him. And it was just a distraction, really, to get the Avengers to show up. So that's where we're at now, bro. What's the moment you can't talk to me?
Right here, bro. Like it just
the avenging. How many times have they said it's time for? Nobody says that shit in real life, man. Nobody says. Nobody says that word.
case clips have been ill placed with the Avengers overall and shit, or this series, but it's just like coincidentally, T'Challa comes undone of the infection, removes the shard from Thor. As the Avengers show up, you know, they just pop up out of nowhere, you know, like they knew that was the right spot to be at the right moment. You know, it's like now it's avenging time, like you said, like, you know, I know it's comic books, I know, but that can't be an excuse. It's been done sweeter and better, you know, like the art is the saving grace of this shit. If you had any other artists on this, it'd be easily forgettable. Easily.
Yeah, true. Because that, like, even that Thor page, man, so good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But yeah, how'd you feel about the ending of the issue, Scott? Any thoughts? Anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with him, man. I kind of want to see a little more from it, but it's been cool. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to crap on it, but it's been cool. But I don't know.
It hasn't been Secret Wars level. Like, you know what I mean?
I think the repercussions we're going to see coming out of it, we're going to see the new Avengers team, obviously. And I don't know what else.
Yeah, I do like how Iron Man kind of looks like Riri, you know, kind of got like the Ironheart color scheme going on.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh, I did see I don't think it's connected to this, but Storm's joining the Avengers, McKay's Avengers. I think that's a good
word.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Real quick, let's say what up to the chat. I saw some people in here. Our boy Verno, of course. He said Doc Strange has been good, but no Blood Hunt tie-in has been essential. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, Blood Hunters has been fun, but none of them have really been essential, I feel like. Especially the one-shots. The one-shots you can totally skip.
And he also made a good point in some of his reviews about Miles Morales and how, like, torn asunder that title has been from, like, all the events going on and all the things it needs to tie into and be a part of, and how it really hasn't had a chance to just breathe and be its own book. Like, it's kind of crazy how they kind of get claustrophobic like that with some of their titles. 9 out of 10 Jorns agree. I won't be watching. I just want to shout out my boys E and Nick, who, you know, watch what is it, one horror movie every 6 months with Verno, and then have to retreat back to their cave and recover. Y'all are adorable. Fuck them up, Vern. But yeah, Angela, good to see you. Thank y'all all for coming through. Always lovely to see y'all. Appreciate y'all spending time with us. All right, let's get into Scotty's choice of the night, man. Helverine #1. By Ben Percy, and who we got on art? I forget what his name was, bro. Oh, apologies. It's a new cat, isn't it? Somebody I haven't heard of.
I can't remember who it's. I can't remember who's on the interior art. It's Benjamin Percy, writer.
Yeah, I think it's like Joshua Yoto or something like that. But just have you been reading the Wolverine series up to this point, and Sabretooth War and all that?
I picked up a few of them, but no, honestly, I haven't been on the Wolverine run, but I started this Helverine run just to check it out. And I don't know, issue 1 was okay, so I picked up issue 2 as well. But no, like I picked up a couple of issues from that Wolverine run. I wish I would have read it, man. It looks so good. Everybody was talking so good about it. And Benjamin Percy is usually really good with writing Wolverine and Ghost Rider and characters like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to stay on it, but it was a little all over the place for me, at least initially. I know people had really good things to say about the Sabretooth War. The end.
I heard that was really good.
I heard that was a strong ending, so I might like pick up that trade and just give it a shot just from that point on. I've really liked, believe it or not, some of his fiction books. Like, I remember when I first was getting back into comic books, he was one of the guys. I think I read like his DC Rebirth Green Arrow stuff or something like that. I was just trying to see what writers had done, and like I found some of his fiction books, and I read a couple of those, and I really enjoyed them. But yeah, man, dude, if y'all haven't, like, I know you met him in person, right, Scotty? Dude has the voice of God himself. Dude, like, saying he has a deep voice is a complete understatement. Like, dude,
it was crazy. I wasn't expecting him to have such a deep voice, but he was really cool.
It's like, and when you meet, like, I feel like just like the person he is, he seems perfect to write the character Wolverine. He seems like
He
Wolverine's
does.
long lost cousin or something. You know what I mean? He
He
lives
does.
in Minnesota. He loves whiskey and cigars and
This big
like,
brute guy, like really
yeah,
muscular, and
dude's got a
yeah.
suit. Yeah, he's got like a beard, wears flannel all the time. Like,
Yep.
I don't know, bro seems pitch perfect for the character. Christina, Station Ma'am, good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Always good to see you. But yeah, covers have been crazy, man. Like both the first and the second issues had great covers. Ryan Stegman, of course, on I think the mains, and you got Casera. The Kevin Eastman variant is crazy fire.
Yeah. The spoiler variant was pretty
The
cool.
Tex, dude, they brought Tex back. Like, what else can you? To me, that's my favorite Ghost Rider artist of all time. And '90s Ghost Rider with him and Howard Mackey, and like some of those stories were god awful. Lord, Texas art, dude, really got me. I loved that art he did. Those and some of those Wolverine issues as well. But that was just so great to see him back. He doesn't do a whole lot of stuff these days, man, unfortunately. Martin Coccolo, Scotty Young killed it.
Yeah, I got that Scotty Young cover signed.
That's
I
a
got
great
him to sign
one,
it.
man.
Yeah, that's pretty
Dude,
cool.
that's one thing I learned about Heroes, man. Scotty Young is that dude. Like, you know, you think you know who the most popular artists are or who's really gonna command a line. Scotty Young is that dude for sure. So shout out to him. Amazing career he's built for himself off that aesthetic. Love it or hate it. Tyler Kirkham with the
covers are not his aesthetic. I just wanted that is a different.
I mean, what?
piece.
But it is his aesthetic, though.
Have you ever read his Wizard of Oz series?
Yeah, but it's like, don't you feel like that's baby cover-esque almost, though?
No, I believe he can do the baby covers in 5 minutes. You know, I don't think that's challenging for him. Go back and look at some of those Wizard of Oz. It invokes. He's always had like the playful, whimsical energy to his art, but you know, the baby covers are a different beast.
I think like the baby covers are a branch on the tree of his aesthetic. You know what I mean? Because they feel fair. It feels tied to. I feel what you're saying, but you make a good point in terms of scale and size, because not everything in that Oz book is miniature, like all that. You know what I mean? It's just like a straight up comic. It's a straight up book, and you know the baby thing isn't at play there. But also, like when I look at I Hate Fairyland, I feel like those, you know, that's a like, even though that's a character who's regular size or whatever, it feels very tied to that same thing. So I think it's just. Yeah, he was talking about it in that Cartoonist Kayfabe interview. He said one day he looked up on his calendar and he had baby covers every month for 3 years straight, dude. Like,
I believe it.
That is insanity. Like, so I'm not mad at him. Like, what do you do at that point? And like, so when I walk by his table, dude, all his backdrop is all original art of baby covers. There's not any like, I don't know. You gotta feed the beast a certain point, but I feel
No,
I wonder how. I'm curious to see how he's gonna like, because I know he just doesn't want to be doing that forever, and he's too creative of a dude. I think he has way too many, especially as a writer. He has too many things going on. But I don't know. I don't want to see him doing baby covers like 5 years from now. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I want to see him not doing those at all, or maybe if he's doing them for something super special.
Yeah. Yes.
But dude, I don't know. They've been doing. Marvel's been doing like a re-release or something, or they've just been going super hard on them again. But like, I got smacked in the face when I hit the new comic book wall I think it was like last week or the week before. Man, there was so many Scotty baby covers. It was just like, chill out.
It reminds me of how Alex Ross was just on fire during like the pandemic. You know, it was like Alex Ross variant, Alex Ross on the main cover. It's like, how the fuck is Alex Ross getting all this work done? You know, like
that's crazy.
He's had sitting in the portfolio waiting to go.
Yeah. Verno claims he has a warehouse of artists operating under the Alex Ross aesthetic. That's blasphemy, and we won't entertain it. Yeah. Don't disrespect the god. All right, yeah. So getting into Helverine #1, we get our backstory about this the Helverine spirit, essentially, right? And that it was like this pet of Mephisto, more or less, that built, you know, monuments of suffering both in hell and on earth to him.
Forget the demon's name. It was
Yeah,
a
it's
certain
like
demon, wasn't it?
yeah, it was like
BAGRA-GHUL.
yeah, and then it was like Bram. I forget what Homeboy's name was that initially got it, but it went into a boy. He kind of grew up with it, got sick of you know, wearing the burden, and they eventually swapped the spirit, and it got into Logan.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where we get our start here. And like the story's kind of told through this Helverine spirit waging war on all the corrupt and evil folks throughout. Like the first one here, we get some human traffickers. You know, so the story kind of bounces back and forth between you know, the sinners and what's going on with Helverine, and like, you know, what his past is. So in the present, like all these sinners are getting it, you know, getting torn apart by this spirit that feels compelled to hunt evil down, no matter where it is. But yeah, we get the funeral of all these this squadron of soldiers, right? And we don't really know what's going on at first. We got this general in the back of the limo. He's waiting for the funeral to end. As soon as it goes, they go and dig him up, right? So you're like, oh shit. And yeah, so this ends up being a U.S. government Weapon X type angle that they're gonna develop in this story, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay. I mean, we'll see where they go with it, but I like that. I like / hate that Wolverine's kind of like unwittingly dealing with another you know, unnamed government agency. But anyway, yeah, so he's where are we at here? Oh, so okay, I'm sorry. Go back to the funeral. Homeboy digs them all up. Then we get to Wolverine's first spot. He gets assaulted by these soldiers who think he's the Helverine spirit, right? They trank him, take him in. They think they've got the guy.
This is when I know it's comic books, and I know I gotta let that go, but I'm just like, how did they get the drop on Wolverine? Really? You know, they didn't smell.
And the polar bear trank like felt like that. I don't know. Anyway, they take him into this facility where they got some of these other soldiers that they just dug up, and they're like kind of resetting them, putting them back. Like, you know, they basically don't want to lose their investment, right? And they infuse these U.S. soldiers with hellfire, but they got ambushed and killed. So that's why they dug him out of the grave and brought him back to this facility. They want to try to get a return on their investment, more or less. Yeah, and Wolverine's there too because they think he's, you know, the one, you know, operating as the avatar of this Helverine spirit. He said, "For once, I'd like to team with a name like Jeff or Brandon." Yeah, man. So let's just keep it simple, right? Yeah. All right. So anyway, they try to get like the hellfire out of these. This part seemed kind of silly. Out of these soldiers, like, but they, you know, it ended up going bad. You know, great art here though. I like this part.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. They wake up, they start taking out, you know, all the soldiers and mercenaries in house, right? Nobody's able to stop them, and they rampage and they get free, right? It becomes a national news story. Shit's a problem now, right? Secret's out. In the meanwhile, we get more of these scenes. We get like this, you know, high elite society cannibalistic dinner type thing that Helverine interrupts and, you know, brings down with some good art. But I don't know. What did y'all think about this? Like, Scotty, what did you feel about? How did you feel about the story up to this point? And well, you know, with the art and everything.
I picked it up. I picked up issue 1 just to try it out, and I thought it was okay. Like, it didn't blow me away, but I didn't think it was horrible either. I liked it enough to want to continue on with issue 2, and I do feel like it does get a little bit better in issue 2.
I agree. Yeah. Link, how about you, bro? How are you feeling at this point?
I mean, it was solid up until the story point. You know, like the only gripe I had was like, how did they get the drop on Wolverine? But
Yeah, yeah.
you know, there was the whole them doing the Hellfire or Hell Power thing with the mercenaries reminded me of this arc in New Mutants, like back in like 2010-ish. It was Andy Lanning and Dan Abnett that, you know, they had done like a New Mutant series, but these soldiers were like stuck in limbo for like fucking forever, you know, and during that time in limbo they had to like be grafted with like certain arms from like limbo monsters and shit. So like these hybrid hell squad, you know. So that was
Wow.
like it reminded me of that. So that was cool. And I'm
That's
big. I
wild.
love Wolverine. I love his family. I love the kids, Laura, Doc, and Gabby. You know, I'm Wolverine all day. So you know, it fucked me up when I found out what Sabretooth did to Doc, and I was like, that's disrespectful. I don't think it would really play out like that. But hey, but it's cool that to see him back. You know, I don't. You know, it's
Yeah.
cool that they're bringing him back. You know, so it's cool. You know, to know that. I don't think they revealed it until later that he was Doc, but I knew going into this that this
It's
was, you
okay.
know,
We're
was
about to get
essential.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost there.
So like a nice little Akira slide here as he you know tears through the
Iconic.
tears through all the 1% cannibals. But yeah, so we get him further in the interrogation room. They still think he's, you know, the spirit until he gets eyes on the cell phone footage they got when I guess you
That's
know
when he realizes.
the spirit encountered
Yeah.
some of the soldiers, right? Meanwhile, the soldiers are rampaging everywhere. Nothing's really able to stop them. They can command like the chains, just like Ghost Rider can. Got all sorts of things protruding from their body. They can blast hellfire in any direction. They're definitely a problem. Anyway, here he's getting a look at the footage from the fight. We get a nice little crackoon. Always love a good crackoon. One of my favorite sound effects.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, doesn't Logan see he sees the footage and sees the tattoos, and that's how he figures out who it is. Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah,
One
the tattoos, and it's our boy.
in general, man, is I know he's got the underblade. You know, that doesn't even make sense to begin with, but it came out when like Assassin's Creed was just becoming big, so I get it. But it's like when he has these two claws up, he should not have this one come up. This should be like when he's on some stealth shit, you know, like when he's trying to snake people, he's fly about it. But I hate seeing when they do like the two claws and the one coming underneath. I'm like, how would that like he can even slash some shit, you know? Like how would that work? Where would it?
So true, man. The physics are all wrong. You're right.
Valid point.
Yeah.
Oh, it was cool to see him back. I like the whole stitching and shit. You know.
Yeah, I feel like this is when it starts to get pretty good.
Hell yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's carry on to issue 2. Again, great set of covers. Ryan Stegman. They're still doing the Stormbreakers thing, huh?
Yeah.
Like I always feel like the Stormbreakers thing is tongue in cheek whenever I see that. Like some of these guys have been around for a minute. It's like, what are y'all even doing with that program anymore? It always felt like I feel like they should put some of these like has Pepe Larraz been a Stormbreaker yet?
Or yeah, he was part of the last I think like 19, maybe 2020 class of this or I think he was part of the last Young Guns, you know, before they rebranded it as Stormbreakers in 2019, Pepe Larraz.
Yeah.
But
I wonder how much longer he's gonna hang around on Marvel before he starts doing something different. I know Mark Millar got him away with that check, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, Sergio Fernandez, the 1 in 25, killing it. Tony Daniels, great. Anyway, we get back to issue 2 opens up with our reminder of how we lost Dakin, right?
Yep.
At the hands of Sabretooth. He got ripped in half. Shit was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Buried under some stones and horns. Eventually, the spirit found him, awakened him, and you know shit was on from then. Like I said in previously, Wolverine right here says this is the Grave Digger's Virgin Weapon X. When he goes and gets a little tour of the facility, you know, sees that they've been digging up the soldiers and trying to reinvent them or get their money back. You're doing the same thing that was done to me, he tells them, you know, which is dead on. Anyway, we learn this guy, like, Homeboy's obviously intentions are more insidious, and he lets on with Wolverine. He's got a hellhound, and he's happy to let this thing, finish up Wolverine, as he tells it, after it's done tracking. So, yeah, I don't know. Here we go. Wolverine working with another shady government agency again, but let's do it, man. It's about his son, right? And which we learn in a very visceral way at the end of this issue. It's about his boy. That's what he's doing it for. But yeah, this I thought was a nice little tie-in. This is Scotty, what you talking about? I think this is one of the reasons why this issue is stronger. I like the tie-in to that soldier that I saw that soldier at the funeral in issue 1. I was like, are they going to do anything with that guy? He's the one surviving member of the platoon. Obviously, he's got survivor's guilt or remorse or whatever, and he's going through it at home, drinking in a wheelchair, kind of watching the news, and then he sees his people on the news, and my God, what have they done to you? He can't believe it. But did y'all like this moment? I thought it was a cool little tie-in. I'm interested to see what happens with this character.
Absolutely.
I could see him pairing up with Logan on some righteous shit down the line. You know what I mean?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking, like, because the other dude, the dude that blasted when they first brought the Hell team back together, I was thinking that, like, he reminded me of Deathlock, like a Hell version of Deathlock. I was thinking, like, maybe this dude at the end of it becomes like all his squad mates. I feel like they're gonna die. I don't know, but he'll be the last one standing. Maybe he'll be like a Hell version of Deathlock or something. Maybe he'll be the new.
Awesome. Hell yeah,
dude. We need more Deathlock in this day and age.
Yeah, yeah. Why can't we get more Deathlock?
Amen. But yeah, so we learn about kind of like HELLVERINE'S targeting capacity. It's the way the dog sense a hunt. It's a combination of proximity and extremity. That's it. So if it's bad enough and it's close enough, he's on it.
About that one scene, I think that was where Dakin was talking about how, or the narration was talking about how he can't really remember shit. It's like he gets brief glimpses of shit, but can't really make sense of it. I thought that was like a cool little character moment. Like, obviously if Dakin comes out at the end of this, he'll be more on like the road to redemption. Dakin's been a bastard for the last couple of years. More recently he's been on the side of good, but he was a motherfucker for like the first couple of years of his inception. So it's cool to have him have like that Weapon X theme going on where Logan couldn't remember his past for the longest time. Like maybe when Dakin comes out of this, he still doesn't have memories. So he's kind of like, he knows he was a bastard, a motherfucker. So he's like, that's not me now, though. So he's like trying to make up for it, but slowly as like memories come back. I think that'd be like a cool thematic tie-in between the two. Father, son.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so before we get to our final scene, we get this little scene in the rain between Madam Secretary and our shady general, right? She's obviously been okaying / funding this program, but she doesn't have her name on it at all. It's kind of those, I don't have any ties to it type deal. He keeps wanting to put the plural possessive on it. This is something that we built together. It's our problem together. Obviously these creatures are loose, and it doesn't seem like there's any stopping them. So it's a problem for them both. No surprise there that the chain of the command goes higher up in the government. But yeah, let's get to our baller ass final scene, dude. This is the one that really like brings it all home. We get one of our Hellfire squad who's been basically resurrected from the dead. It's like brought back from the Lazarus pit, more or less. Is confused, doesn't know what's right, what's wrong, who's an enemy, who's not, but wants to get back to their family, right? And it gets back to the house, and can't let go of of their daughter as the mom comes down the stairs, obviously terrified to see what's going on. I love that change in that middle panel and the character's facial appearance. How you can see them kind of like loosen up. I thought that was such a great little just a little thing just to show you how the mood changed, right?
Kind of sad.
Yeah, it is, man. Super sad, right? And that's the thing, is like you're immediately you feel bad for homeboy, and and that all gets eviscerated here in a second. But and he's trying to speak, and you're like, what is it, man? You're like, what is it? Tell us what's going on. No. and he's like lunging. It's like, no, don't do that. And then next panel, oh shit! I loved it, dude. I love this.
Yeah,
This is great.
yeah, that's a great panel.
Yeah, man. Wolverine busted in. You know, I can't let you get too close. You know, it's still the head's still screaming mine. That poor kid.
Can I be reminded of Finding Nemo's moves when reading the mine part? Yeah, that's what I thought of. Like I was like, mine? Yeah.
with the birds. Oh yeah, bro. Always appreciate a Pixar reference. But yeah, the head on the floor still talking and shit like that. It's nuts, right? You know, he wants the kid to get to safety. This thing is still like, you know, not done being a threat though. We see like the wife and child also get outside, and the rest of the squad's there waiting, so that's not good news. But here, Wolverine's over top this thing trying to finish it off, and like it sends more spikes up through him, pretty much like holds him in place, and then blasts him, dude, with the fucking hellfire. Like, woo, no joke. Yeah, right. Nice call, bro. Nice call. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's looking rough for our boy. You can tell like the government doesn't give a shit. They turned the hellhound loose on the wife and child.
Yep.
You know, no remorse at all. But who comes to save the day? The rest of the squad.
Cenobite.
Great little panel. Yeah, right. Going Cenobite on it. You know, tearing the dog all apart. And yeah, so that's, you know, basically how we end up our issue is, you know, that wife and daughter with their whole world just completely crushed and obliterated. We get Dakin on his motorcycle out of town, kind of just he still hasn't spoken or, you know, said a word or anything, but you know, he's still trying to find his place and you know, figure out what's going on, besides just like running after these urges. But yeah, I thought this was a great way to end issue 2, man. This was dope to see. Great violence. I think the art could be a little bit stronger, especially with some of the faces and stuff like that. But regardless, I love seeing the Helverine with all the flames out. I think that loo's dope. How'd y'all feel about the I'll let y'all take it and hop out real quick. I'll be right back.
And I thought it was great. I think it's a good setup for issue 3. I'll be picking up issue 3 and checking it out because I can't wait to see what's going on with this character. And they're releasing, Hasbro's putting out a Marvel Legends figure for Helverine, and I cannot wait to pick that up. It looks really cool. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Badass. No, yeah, I'm with you. I'm here for issue 3. I was a little trepidatious going into this series.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But you know, it's cool that they've got like he's tying certain thematic ties, I guess, or themes to each other. You know, like I am a big fan of the whole. Now Dakin's kind of going through what Logan went through when he couldn't remember his memories. You know, so it's when he comes out at the end of this, he's gonna have a more of an understanding with Wolverine. You know, he's been pissed at Wolverine his whole life. Like, you weren't there for me, and like Logan was like, I couldn't even remember you, man. You know, like I didn't know you existed for the longest time. And you know, so he has had this chip on his shoulder. So hopefully at the end of this, you know, he's on the side of good. You know, and I'm with that. I love the Team Family Wolverine. You know, I love to see Wolverine all the time, when he can. So if that leads to Dakin being more compliant or thinking along the lines of Logan, I'm here for it.
Yeah, well said.
Station Nick, what up, bro? Good to see you, man. Hell yeah. All right. Well, dude, I'm not at the end of the day though, I enjoyed those 2 issues, man. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's up or down, but I like that one. And I haven't really same. And I didn't keep up with this Ghost Rider. I know people have conflicting feelings about that one, but yeah, I've enjoyed this so far. So interested to see where it goes. All right, moving on. Let's go with Rook Exodus, man. Number 3. I love this one.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Love the Ghost Machine book so far.
I love Ghost Machine.
Right? Man. They've been killing it, man. Everyone has been fantastic, from Redcoat to Geiger to Junkyard Joe. Man, that was one of my favorites. But dude, Jason Fabok absolutely killing every single line on this book, man. Like his
Mhm.
art is so impressive and so good. It's been such a thrill to see issue to issue. You know, we only got um, 3 issues of the 3 Jokers, so it's nice to see him on more issues on this one and bigger books. But man, this has been so cool in this world that he and Johns have built. I've loved it. I love like the expansiveness we get in this issue. We really kind of open things up, and
Yes.
and like that was really what I dug the most. But yeah, bro, I'll hand it to you. How have you felt about Ghost Machine as a whole, and then Johns and Feebuck and this book in particular?
Man, I'm a huge fan of Ghost Machine. Geiger is definitely one of my top favorite comic books. I'm a huge fan of Jeff Johns in general. He's a cool guy. I love the Ghost Machine team. I think they've put together a dream team of writers and artists, and I love what they've been doing, man. And this is a great title. I've read all 3 issues. Issue 3 really cranks it up a lot. We get introduced to a ton of characters. I love the world that they've built. This one, where everything else is kind of interconnected, this one is all its own world. But it's really cool what they're doing with this title. I'm really enjoying it a lot.
Oh yeah, Link, how about you, brother?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been really digging Rook Exodus. I haven't kept up with Geiger. I've been meaning to get back into that. I read the initial series of Geiger. I am a big Jeff Johns fan as well. It's from Michigan, yeah. But I haven't read Red Coat. I've been meaning to check that one out. I'm gonna get on that soon, but this one was a surprise. Like I've been meaning to check this out, but when Stu recommended it and I actually read it, I was like, man, shit, I should have hopped on this sooner. Because I think it was issue 2 when I got on board. But yeah, I agree. They've done some great world building in 3 issues at that. This was a significant issue in terms of that. Like we got to find out more about the I forget what you would call them, but everyone who has a helmet, and the animal they represent and shit like
What's
that.
dude? What are they? The Wardens.
The Wardens, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Dude, how cool does Ursal look? Like that. Like we'll get into it, but like the character designs are so kick-ass. I love the way Fabric incorporates like elements of the animal into the helmet and like the.
Man, it's such a cool.
It is. It's so cool, and like I love this one where he really just, took off the limiters and just like went crazy with like the different characters and from all animals and all corners of nature. It was great to see. But yeah, we'll get into it, man. Of course, our boy still with Direwolf, the fine ass. And we get some backstory again through his narration on why he made the decisions he did to become warden, and where he's at now. I was tired of like he said about becoming a warden. I was tired of living in a world out of control. But now the flock of birds invade his thoughts. I can feel their instincts infecting me. I think they're waiting for me to die. And I love like later in this issue when he's talking about he's hungry, right? And the birds can sense that, they're mocking him. They're flying down and grabbing fish in front of them, right? And like I love like Direwolf sees that happening, and she's like, "You need a better relationship with your animals. Like you're toxic as shit."
Yeah,
I love that. I love that.
That is cool.
It was curious because it's like the animals don't seem to have as much influence. I mean, from what we've been shown, like Rook seems to be the Direwolf she can take off her helmets.
Yeah, he doesn't even need it.
Yeah,
she has a bond with her.
Yeah, but Rook takes off. He's got to worry about the birds maybe attacking him, and some like Hitchcock shit. So it raises a curious like certain animals kind of like reminds me of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. When he introduced the whole spectrum with like will, fear, avarice, is greed and shit like that, or orange.
There you go.
But are certain animals on the spectrum more instinctual and harder the mindset or some shit like that? Raise some
crows are extremely intelligent. So yeah.
And think about like think about like all the times you've been walking along and seeing a bunch of birds circling in the sky and like the feeling that gave you. You know what I mean? Like something dead is there, and like just to
Yep.
live with that for years and years, I'm like that's gotta bring you
Fucks
down
with
into
you.
some sort of psychosis, man. So yeah, but great start to this book.
Mhm.
And here you see Dire Wolf's point of view, right? Like she doesn't need the helmet to establish a connection and the trust with the animal. She feels she can do without it. But I love this. I don't know. He looks awful hungry, girl. Like, I don't know what you're talking- the wolf's, the wolf straight salivating, looking at our boy Rook. But yeah, I don't know. Just a great start to the issue. I love that conversation between them. Then we get to the grid, the wildlife grid, where the the rest of the wardens are basically all life left, or any civilization who's wants to stay around and thrive is this is their home now, right? This
Mhm.
grid. They built this hydroelectric dam.
Yo,
We're gonna meet Carapace.
about that one
Mhm.
panel real quick. Like, I mean, this is just fabric in general, though. It's like, but when he like this is a background. Like I appreciate an artist that takes their time doing backgrounds, because so many artists will have like digital backgrounds or like just a blurred. It's abstract behind. It's just the focus on the characters. But like you get panels like this. Like I wonder how long this shit took him. And he got detail throughout the entire book, but I just wanted to note like artists that take their time for like background shit, because that is just as
Yeah,
important.
some of these artists pass off the backgrounds, man. I remember Mike Choi saying one of his first professional jobs was doing a backgrounds on a Silvestri new X-Men book, like
I believe
that
it.
Wolverine joint, that late arc with
No way. Are
Morrison.
you talking with
Yeah,
Morrison?
the
No
one
shit.
Tomorrow Never
Yeah.
Comes. The whole background for that Mike Choi did. That was like one of his first professional jobs.
Hmm.
But Silvestri said Silvestri walked by his desk, just dropped it on there. There was Wolverine and there was no city or anything behind him. Like that was all him.
Wow.
But yeah, he said he spent way too long on it or something like that. Barely got it in. But I thought that was crazy. Like, man, the big boys really, you know what I mean? Some of those guys get away with damn near
On
criminal
some Drake
acts. Like,
shit,
that's crazy, like passing off your backgrounds, dog. It's one thing to pass off your inks or something. Like your backgrounds, all right, man.
Right.
Out here, is it 1993? Like, what are we doing? Anyway, I love meeting Carapace, the kind of like I guess the turtle warden, right?
Yeah, it's almost like they introduce a little bit of like mythology with this
Mhm.
character.
Yeah, it was super cool. Like 110 years old. I loved
Mhm.
the way they built him up too. He's slow. He walks very slow. He doesn't say anything at first. Like it's like he's gathering his thoughts like
Mhm.
a wise old turtle would. I just love that like synchronicity with the animal. That was super dope, dude.
Really cool.
Like he says everything with purpose, like it's not like
Yeah,
and shit. Yeah.
very cool. But doesn't like so we've already had an encounter with a giant turtle. I think if you guys remember in issue
Was it?
what was it 1 or 2 when our boy Rook barely got away from it and he had to like kind of remote control his car down to knock that thing out or kill it or something. So like Dire Wolf gives a signal to Carapace, but then 2 giant turtles with guns on their backs get up, and she's like, they're not for me, they're for you. You know what I mean? You sure he has big guns on his turtles, and they're aimed right at us. They're not aimed at me, is what she says. Great like moment right there, because like we remember, like in that same moment, I was like, oh yeah, homeboy had it. I wonder if of course he had to. Like if he hurt / killed that turtle, of course Carapace knows about it and knows about him. You know what I mean? If they're connected like that. So already starting off on a bad foot with this guy, right? Who seems to be the Grand Admiral of the proceedings here, right? Like it seems like everything goes through him. So not in the best spot for our boy Rook to be. Yeah, of course, Dire Wolf talks about her father. They have a great conversation, her and Carapace, about her father and what he how he was willing to sacrifice anything to make this place work, and for the good of Exodus. You know, she's trying to do the same. I'm doing this for all the men, women, and children still here, she says. So yeah, you know, dope little exchange. But you know, we see that both of these characters are pure heart, or at least her and Carapace, and are coming from the right place, and you know, don't want to leave. You know, I think he says something about I've heard his thoughts. He wants to. He was building a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
That boy wants to get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he doesn't have any time for that. He's here for the people who are still here, and like that's what he's doing it for. As well,
You know
as,
what
as well as she is.
that you appreciate? It reminded me of Andor, where it's kind of like the Evan Maybach character, where he was like, you know, that's how they're approaching him. Like, you're not down for the cause, bro. You're serving yourself, you know, like, yeah, I don't trust you. You know, like the turtle dude is Andor, and he's approaching Rook like he's the Evan Maybach dude. Like, bro, you're just here to further serve yourself, you know? Like, we can't trust
Makes
you,
sense.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a little...
Yeah, man, I love that show. I haven't. Have you been enjoying the Acolyte, bro? I've heard so many like different things about it. Like people love it, people hate it.
Think I'll say this all day. Book of Boba Fett has been the worst Star Wars show. You had the Power Ranger bike squad. It took the whole lore, the mystique of Boba Fett away. He like without a squad, he would be fucked up 10 times over the entire show. That show was. They had so little faith in that show.
I thought it was good for a bit, but then
it was all right. But
it felt like when they started making it a Mandalorian show later on.
That's my biggest gripe. If you watch the end of Mandalorian season 2, Grogu and Mando split up. When you start off in season 1, they're back together. If you didn't watch that Boba Fett episode, you'd be like, how the fuck did they get back together?
Yeah,
they just split up at the end of season 2, you know? So I feel like they don't have any faith in the Boba Fett show. But I have been enjoying the Acolyte. I'm not taking that serious. I've heard people talk about the whole the lesbian coven of witches, which I don't mind. And people talking about them birthing twins, like how using the Force to create kids. Like, how the fuck was Anakin created? You know, by someone manipulating the Force. The whole twin concept. I feel like that's something people would experiment with. Like, it's not just an idea that one person had. Like, they would have been trying to distill the idea for centuries. You know, like, we fucked up on the first batch of twins. Let's try it again. You know, like.
Yeah.
So
hold on. Did Anakin come? Like, was Anakin like the Force and Mary Magdalene or something type of?
Yeah,
is that what?
He conceived through the Force. Yeah, like so that's why people use that as an argument standpoint.
That's wild. That's wild. I didn't know they had that origin story. I thought he was just
complaining about things like this. It's coming from like a universe where they built a planet-sized ship that had such a fucking weak point in it that was just out in the wide open. You know, like, what are we talking about right here? Like, you know, I know comic books. That's what I'm going to keep saying. But the way people bitch about this sometimes is like, what you just want something to bitch about? You know, like. Yeah. It's really not amazing, but the way people talk about this shit, you would think it's not the worst shit in the world either. It's had some of the best fight scenes, in my opinion, for like Star Wars physical live action fight scenes. It's had some great fight scenes, you know, particularly the last 2 episodes. But I don't know. I'm not what you. I enjoy Star Wars, but I'm not a diehard, so maybe my opinion is different, you know. But I just think people look for shit to bitch about sometimes.
Fair enough, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I've enjoyed for the most part the Star Wars universe up till now. I definitely Andor I think is phenomenal, man. I can't wait to see season 2. But anyway, let's get back to our book. Sal says, yeah, these colors are excellent. You're right, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Nick says Mos Espas for life. Oh yeah, bro. I'm not gonna go back and no, I'm not doing that, Nick. No. Yeah, I don't worry, I won't. Yeah, but getting into it, dude. Our boy Ursaw is on the way, dude. How big is that goddamn thing? Right? That is a serious mobile fortress, right?
Yeah,
bro.
I love it. Yeah, like, bro. Exactly. Yeah. I love this introduction of the character. Right, he's got all these like spots for the helms. I was trying to like zoom in and look. It looks like he only has 2. It looks like he has 3. Okay.
Yeah. So
he's got like he's got a snake helm. It looked like he's got his boy. What was his name? Who had the hogs?
The snake and what was it?
What's the guy's name with like the boar head or whatever? I can't remember.
Swine.
I'm trying to think.
Swine.
I can remember.
Yes.
Yeah, Swine. Yeah, good call.
I was so upset when he got killed.
I know that sucked.
I like him.
Swine was great. Same.
I was gonna like, really, bro? I was like, you guys are just gonna set him up to be likable and just off his
And
ass
kill
that
him.
quickly? Like,
Yeah.
come on now. I did hate that though.
Yeah.
And then I saw like for whatever reason I saw an image of this book that like where Swine was wearing his helmet again before I knew the context, and I was like, oh shit, he's not dead. Like, oh, he turned on our boy. Like, oh no, Swine. But then I realized the truth. Anyway, the three of these Carapace, Direwolf, and Rook all tap into the neural network, and here was my favorite part of the issue. Right, we get all these panels one after one of like all these different animal avatars.
Everybody,
yeah, man, and you get into like the head of all these different people. Right, we get what is it, Raynord the Fox, right? Who's like a kind of like it seems like a Robin Hood, a Robin Hood type character. We get the weird spider arachnid dude, right? We get Ram's Head, like
you know this reminds me of Magog or something. Magog,
right? Dude, it was just a joy, like going panel to panel, page to page, watching film.
It really was.
Have fun, like right here.
We
get this like
badass, bro.
Super cool stag guy.
Yeah.
My only complaint was here, like, make the blade like kind of curve like the deer's horns or something. You know what I mean? That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But regardless, I love that, like the foreign language here, and just so cool. Here we get the mountain goat one.
Matterhorn.
Like no animal left behind, dude.
Check that one out.
Yeah, the
locusts.
Reminded me of like the Micronauts dude or whatever. For the like the antennas, or is he on the Guardians? He had like the antennas and shit. Like I don't know his name, but I've just seen him before. But yeah, they had some really. This is the way they set this shit up. Like it was cool because it's like in issue 3, but it's got you thinking about like how far can this book go, or how far along do they have this planned? You know, like are they going to spend each arc is going to be focusing on like a different warden and shit like that? I'm here for it. I hope they go the distance. You know,
me too.
We probably won't get every arc devoted to one warden, but the way they set this up, you know, they easily get you invested. This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, compare this 3 issues to like 3 issues of Blood Hunt. You know, like a lot.
So much more out of this.
Yeah,
so much more.
Facts, bro. Like I feel like we've come alive more here in this. Like once we started talking about this, you know, issue, I feel like it's definitely brought a like an extra level of energy out of us.
It's the quality of book. It's the quality
absolutely. Brother Joe, I'm sorry I missed you, man. Love you. So good to see you always. Thank you for always supporting. Hope you're well, sir. Sal says, man, I want to see that. Yeah, dude. The original art has gotta be, dude. I would lose it. He says, not me, Sal. I prefer to keep my brain unmelted, right? Yeah. He flashed a few during an early retailer's call. There is wow. That's crazy. I wonder how long he's been working on this project, because I feel like his stuff does not take. He's not a quick turnaround guy. So I wonder.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious.
But, you know, seen him really have like scheduling issues. Like I feel like he always, even though he's not an artist who's quick, I feel like he's always meeting his deadlines. You know, like I don't even, you know, they did the whole 3 Jokers. I did like they introduced that in 2016. It was both Johns and Fabric working on Justice League when he introduced the idea of the 3 Jokers, and that was supposed to follow up like immediately and come sometime for like the Rebirth. But we didn't get into like 2020, you know, and it's like I don't even like a lot of people. I remember thinking it was like Fabric's fault it took that so long, but Johns was like quick to come out and say like, no, it wasn't Fabric, bro. It was more like Johns had other shit going on. So I don't know. I'm very impressed.
Were y'all familiar with his work pre 3 Jokers? Because I wasn't. Did you guys know anything by him?
I was following his Justice League when he was on Justice League with Johns. That was like my.
Oh, he was on that with him.
Yeah, like towards the tail end of it, he was doing Justice League with him, like the Dark Side War. He did for sure.
Okay. Yeah, man, that was definitely 3 Jokers was my first introduction. Anyway, getting back into it, we got the Buffalo, we got Jack Rabbit, excuse me, who Rook mentioned earlier. I guess they've had I think he went to training. He was in training as a warden with Jack Rabbit.
Yo, I just want to say, Jeff Johns, if you ever see this, maybe you should make a character called Jackhammer. I feel like that.
Check out the rooster. Cockerel the rooster.
Rooster, though, I love the helmet designs. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Stay away
just
from my chickens.
So cool.
we're getting of these helmets has me so intrigued to know like the origin, the backstory. Like I wouldn't mind. Like they're setting this up. Like say like all these characters bite it towards the end. You could release minis focusing on just these Wardens and what they did before they died, or if they died. You know, like some great world building going on in this book. Very appreciated.
So. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so all these other animal wardens got bite, right? I feel bad for my man with the chickens. I guess I could peck you to death, right? But he's got to be worried, like at night.
Chickens, bro. You know, maybe they're like the
are my people going to make it through the night? You know what I mean? He's got to worry about all sorts of predators. Like I don't know. It's got to be rough. But it just goes on and on. Like that's what I love about it. When you think it's going to end, it keeps going, right?
Oh yeah,
and like. I love how this is like, you know, this adds to the world building, but you don't have to stay tied to this. Like you can come and revisit some of these guys if you want to. You can forget them for the rest. You know what I mean? Like, but regardless, they're such cool ideas, and I'm sure we're going to see some of them here in the future. But obviously way more wardens than we were expecting, right? I don't know what y'all were expecting, but I thought there was going to be a couple out there, maybe one or two others that answered the call. This was nuts, right? And it makes you kind of reassess things. Where are we really at in this world?
It really made it feel like it's this big event to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like the truth has seriously been yet to be revealed in a big way. Like there's a whole big part of the story that we're missing.
This panel right here reminded me of Gary Frank. I'm not going to hold you up. I know they probably work together because they are part of Ghost Machine, but I was getting heavy Gary Frank vibes, especially the face. The last panel reminds me of Gary Frank, which is a high compliment. I don't mean, that's not a bad thing. They're both great artists. But
I like Gary Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great one. Yeah, but Ursaw's on the way. Homeboy knows it, right? Pulls off the helmet. And this is what I was like, damn, it's our boy again? And that's then, like, they put in this, I like how they put in this little bit of dialogue to help us. But they could have just left it as a cliffhanger and we would have been even, you know what I mean? But
just wondering,
Homeboy says, stop, Pumbaa, stop whining, you listen to me now. So it's not our boy Swine under the helmet. Yeah, it's somebody new. Which, but they could have left it blank and still had us going. But regardless, man, that was before I even read the text. That was bittersweet to see our boy's helmet again.
This is the Python chick. Like they did not show an age. Like we don't know how big the snakes are, bro. What if they're like fucking anaconda steroid? Yeah.
We saw the turtles. I mean, the snakes could be huge.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, man, everything's been growing out of control and like just so wild and unhinged, and it's a wonder they can even control like the size of some of these things. You know what I mean? It's, like, controlling two of those turtles at one time, with what's going on in your own brain. I don't know. All of us, all my animals, we'd just be up under a tree in some shade all day. I get them to bring me some food, and that'd be about it, man. It's enough to run one brain for me. I can't imagine more than, even as it's a bird brain. Andrew says, I'm not going to hold you up. My favorite stuff quote, same. He's about to flame somebody, right? I'm not going to hold you up, but that shit is trash. I love it. All right. Yeah. Ultimate Black Panther number 5, man. Let's talk about a slow moving book. Good Lord. This was great and all, but God, can we get to the freaking, what are we doing here? And like, I feel like this one has had so much potential and had so many great moments. I loved Queen Okoye's characterization early on, and like, how her counsel and such a solitary figure of strength for T'Challa, like early on, but like this has gotten so mired in this nonsense with the vibranium's other half and like what's going on. And I feel like it's just really at the end of the day, a lot like Blood Hunt, been a whole lot of nothing, man. A whole lot of like postulating and posturing, and you know, we finally got some action here at the end of this episode, and we know what it's going to be. But you know, I don't know. It's been a slow burn for sure, which is cool. But like with the again, like going back to the Ultimates title and what you expect from an Ultimate type of book, you know, bombastic action and intrigue and stuff, and more or less every issue and story arc. A lot of these have been quiet and slow moving books. Ultimate X-Men as well.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
they haven't been. I would say Ultimates 1 was more on the level of what a book should be, but
it's kind of
yeah.
continuing the story from
the Ultimate Universe
Yeah.
stuff, and yeah, but even that just feels, I don't know, like we're just kind of treading water until we let the maker out of his jail and get to what's happening. But I don't know. How do y'all feel about this one? It's good, you know. It's got, and I want to applaud the team for the I think it's Carlos Nieto or is his name, who fills in on artwork on this issue, and he does a great job for subbing for Caselli. I think there's very little interruption in the transition of the aesthetic like there is in Ultimate Spider-Man when they switch from Chiquetto. Like you didn't feel that as abruptly here. But man,
yes,
they can definitely pick up the pace of this book. And I feel like you could have thrown away 2 issues worth of material at this point to really get what you want. You could have started a whole different place. But I don't know. How do you feel? Link, I'll start with you. How do you feel about this one going into issue 5, bro?
I've been enjoying this one. It's, you know, it's not groundbreaking, but you know, there wasn't really, they did do an Ultimate Black Panther back in the OG days, but it was like this. So there was like the OG Ultimate Universe. They had Ultimatum. They did a lukewarm, like a semi reboot, but it wasn't really a reboot. And then they did another reboot when Miles came along with, and Hickman was an Ultimate. But they tried to set up the Panther during the second reboot, you know, whatever. But you know, his origin was he had been He was like, I guess because he had some mutant ability, or he got injured. His father gave him to Nick Fury, and Nick Fury like turned him into like a Weapon X soldier. You know, he had like these adamantium claws. They were like short claws that would come out, but he was mute. You know, because I think his vocal cords got slashed. They couldn't. But you know, they didn't really do much with the character. Long story short, you know, in the OG Ultimate Universe. So I don't know if like Brian Hill taking his time establishing this Ultimate Panther is because of in recognition of that. You know, like they didn't really do shit to begin with. I gotta try to make him a little bit more distinct than 616 Panther. But I don't know. I feel like this book's kind of pace could be a little bit better, but I feel like it's been moving bigger pieces in terms of like the world building of the Ultimate Universe at large. Peter's solely focused on him and his family and Harry and shit, but you know, we're really left in the dark about as to what's going on line wide, same as we are with X-Men. This book is like the closest it comes, this and Ultimates. But this issue was solid. I do think they're doing like, I mean, they did this is when the first Ultimate Universe started getting going. That's when this whole writing for trade habit started to become big, you know, like maybe they're like following that a little bit. But this issue raised some questions, like, you know, with the counter to the vibranium, like it reminded me of like, is this like Ultimate Inhumans? It kind of reminded me of like the Terrigen Mist, you know, where it gives life, like maybe they can use the properties of it to introduce powers to people. Yeah, it was, you know, I am ready to see something happening. You know, I feel like the last 3 to 2 issues have been like same beat a little bit, in terms of like Khonshu sends his henchmen to fuck some shit up. They stop it. You know, he gets Khonshu's, the henchmen get a little bit closer. You know, it's like I get it, but I do think they have been. I think he's trying to take. You know, it's like we run the risk of like, you know, him trying to. Maybe, you know, he's promised when writers think they have these books for a certain period of time, you know, I think like, okay, if they tomorrow told me I have this book for 2 years, I know I can do this with this issue because I have time to stretch my legs, you know. but it's like sometimes they'll get cut short, you know. I think that happened with him on Blade. I don't see that happening with him on Black Panther. I think
No.
so. I think he is trying to take his time to world build and make this more distinct than, you know, the his 616 counterpart. But this, you know, this issue was solid. I didn't hate it, but I am ready to see like some ramifications of everything that's been going on since the jump of this book.
Oh, yeah.
Solid.
How about you, Scotty?
Yeah, man. When this series started, I really liked the first couple of issues, and I don't know. My opinion kind of mimics you guys. It's starting to move slow. I'm starting to lose interest a little bit. I really like this title at first. I hope it picks back up. I don't know, man. I'm losing interest a little bit.
Yeah.
I need something to happen
Yeah.
at this point. And same with Ultimate X-Men. I need the team to come together and start getting a story going.
Man, seriously.
I'm starting to fall off of that one as well.
And
But
it's
Ultimate
like-
Spider-Man, I'm still having fun. I'm having fun with Ultimate Spider-Man. We're seeing some cool villains. We got some fun stuff going on with that, and the Ultimates is still fun. But man, this one in X-Men, I need to see more.
Yeah, it's baffling, like that where they're going with this, you know, Ultimates title. Like, I don't know, like so many of these books feel like their own thing. Only a few of them feel related. It's curious to see where they're going to go with a unified vision for this.
The one I'm most curious about is Ultimate X-Men. I'm glad that it's resonating with the younger audience. Like, that is dope as fuck. But I just wanted to make a little bit more sense or to feel a little. I mean, maybe this is me being get off my lawn.
It's in danger of
X-Men.
like, it's in danger of going like. I love that, like, you know, my daughter and like all her 7th grade friends are into it, but I feel like it's in danger of going completely in that direction and not having anything for us to hold on to, because I feel like so many of us are like giving that a chance because, like, for whatever reason, like we want to see the team develop, we want to see it connect to the Ultimate Universe or whatever. But I don't know, man. I feel like so many of us are on our last straw with that book, and
so the balance can be done. Like, you know, Bendis back in the day, Millar and Ultimate X-Men, like these books were written with in mind, like, you know, we are trying to attract a younger audience, but we don't want to alienate our older audience either, you know. So those OG Ultimate books were written with a balance, you know. Sometimes they might have leaned more edgelord to like a younger audience, but they weren't written, like you said, X-Men is written in such a way. It is a little bit more geared towards a younger audience, where it's like an older audience might not get the same, you know, because it's not obviously being written for them, so they're not going to get the same enjoyment out of it. I just want it to feel like an X-Men book, you know. It does not feel like an X-Men book, and I get it. It's probably done for branding purposes, but, you know, I don't know. I know they're trying to start something different, but even at its core theme, it doesn't feel like an X-Men book. Like, you know, I was going to start saying you got characters from like the Runaways and people aren't even associated with the X-Men in an X-Men book with characters that aren't even, you know, people. Mayflower's a new character. Armor, you know, she's kind of a niche character. She is an X-Men character, but, you know, like she's not really one of the biggest newer characters.
Yeah.
You got like a new Storm, like it's all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got Storm, Black Panther. Hopefully she finds her way to Japan and she becomes like the de facto leader of X-Men. Because as of right now, if they start up a team, it reminds me of like the Scooby Gang a little bit, you know? Like I couldn't see them taking on like a threat or becoming a team. I don't know if that's the goal of the book, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what the mission statement is for this. The X-Men book is so curious to me. I don't hate it, but I'm curious where they're going.
I think that
how is it going to tie into the big picture?
Yeah,
exactly. I think that's what editorial is really missing at the end of the day is a seasoned vet to kind of guide all these ships into the same port. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what you had with guys like Quesada or Axel Alonso, or like love him or hate him, like during their time as editor in chief or creative officer or whatever title they had. You need some guys like that to kind of like help tie everything together. And you know, you look at like what DC's doing. It's, you know, it's a completely different ballgame with absolute power and, like, you know, all those
You
books
know
are
what?
getting in line. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
think
and
like,
it's a unified vision. It's not that at all with Marvel.
I could see DC like, because Mark Waid is, you know, Mark Waid's a Titan. You know, I could see like Mark Waid being like the architect for DC right now, but he's just not getting that title. But under the table, like he's kind of
Oh, he for
spearheading
sure is,
a
bro.
lot of the
Like his
things.
renaissance has been the best thing. And like, man, if y'all aren't reading World's Finest, like that to me, like month to month is one of the best comic books on shelves. Like if you like just good old school like superhero tales, you know, obviously Batman and Superman are the star of that, but also like it's got ties to Kingdom Come, it's got ties to a lot of Silver Age stuff.
Yeah.
And Dan Mora doing the artwork, like
That's
that
what got
book
him
was
absolute
not
power,
mess.
bro.
You know what I
'Cause
mean?
they were knocking the shit, you know, they were knocking shit out with the World's Finest.
And it's just I would love to see that from Marvel, but you don't see it at all. I don't feel like there's any element of that really where things feel united and under one umbrella. And like, you know, at the end of the day, people are doing different things, but they're also on the same page, you know, in some kind of
And
manner of speaking.
and they've been saying it for years, but I feel like they haven't really done it. It's like, yeah, we're gonna fall back on events, but they really haven't. They haven't been as aggressive, but they've still been doing it. Sit on it for a while, bro, because back into the early 2000s, before they got the momentum going with like House of M, which led into Civil War, which led into World War Hulk, which led into Secret Invasion, Dark Reign, and shit like that. These events organically rolled into each other because of ramifications from previous shit. Like now it's like, you know, King and Black happened, but they were on to the next event the next year. Like ain't shit was, you know, it's just another
Yeah.
day, you know, like hit a reset button, you know, plan some shit out and have these events actually roll into one another. Like, you know, we got a next big event because of some fallout of the previous event, you know, like make it feel like it matters or have it be a little bit more organic, you know?
That
I'll
makes
say
too
that
much sense.
I'll say this:
Yes.
we don't need one a season. Like it used to be a
Yeah.
yearly thing. Now it's like, what's our summer? What's our Halloween? Like, you know what I mean? Like, chill out. It doesn't. We don't need it like that because at the end of the day, what is it? You know, you look at like I was thinking back at Night Terrors, man. Like Night Terrors had so many great covers and so many, I think, great images. Like, and they all kind of like fell by the wayside or kind of got swept under the rug. And I wonder how much money they paid out to all those creators to get those covers done, because there was some truly exceptional pieces of art that was done across the board on those night covers and tie-ins or Night Terrors covers and tie-ins. And it's just, I don't know, it's wild to think like how much they spend and contract out for some of these events. And like I wonder, does it really all pay off? I don't know. I just feel like event fatigue is not even a thing. It's just fatigue is kind of like an understatement. It's just like we're so over it and used to it. It's just like, I don't know. Season after season, though, it's a little too much, man. Like summer to fall to spring to like I don't need 3-4 events in a year.
Just a
really
summer
don't.
event. If you need to do an annual thing, just make it a summer thing, you know? We don't, like you said, we don't need the fall. We don't need Halloween, winter. You know, just make it the summer, you know, the blockbuster. That's when all the blockbuster movies come out. That's when the blockbuster comics come out, you know, like
Yeah,
keep
makes
it in that.
sense. I'm with it.
And make it have like real stakes. You know what I mean? Like Secret Wars,
Yes,
you know,
real repercussions.
they
Yes.
had like
Yep.
tombstones for the Marvel universe and the Ultimate Universe. Like they were putting shit to sleep. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Make it count. Make it count for real. Like, you know what I mean? And everything feels so temporary. It feels like they're all just gonna, you know, wait 3 issues and hit the reset button on everything. So I don't know. I don't know how to fix it, but I know the answer isn't give me an event every 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. All right, so yeah, let's get into our Black Panther. Obviously, they're analyzing this element, this property that they have. Cool little scene, Storm charging the vibranium rod, right? Always cool to see her use her powers.
Yeah.
This thing, like, you know, gives off like uncontained life, vines and plant life and tree life and flora and fauna are growing everywhere in this contained laboratory setting. They kind of flush it out, burn it with fire, and, you know, T'Challa, they start to explain what it is. It's a new element. you know, it releases kinetic energy, accelerated biological development. So basically, it's a life giver, but
That's what made me think it might have been Inhumans related. Accelerates biological.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like that was a great call, dude, with the Terrigen Mist. I never thought about that. That would be interesting to see if they bring that to play and and the universe and how they use it. But yeah, you found it in T'Challa tells you found it in the bottom of this temple or this church because the people worship it. One of my favorite parts was this conversation you had with the Vodu-Khan, right?
Yeah.
Because you can see our boy has gone to them. I don't want to say with the upper hand, right? But at least feeling like he had the upper hand, right? And now his whole knowledge of like everything has been unseated. And I love that, like, she tells him there's fear in your voice, my king. You should measure it and master it. I love that little
Well, she said something about like, I know you don't believe in the Vodu-Khan or like the council or whatever, but she's like, know that we believe in you. I thought that was a real dope line, like she, to kind of reassure him, like,
Absolutely.
you're on the right track, even though you're suspicious and you have the right to be, stay your course, you're on the right track.
Yeah, I think I highlighted that in a second. But yeah, okay. So before she does that, she tells him the story of, or at least the story they believe, like the origin of vibranium and this other mysterious element. Does it have a name yet, guys?
I don't think
so.
Yeah, the tears of the gods is what they called these two things, right? One of them's vibranium, and this other is this, mysterious life-giving property. But it's a disease, right? It's kind of like take everything over. It's too much of a good thing. I think she says like vibranium's the god of material and this is the god of flesh or something like that. She has some type of way of referring to it like that, right? Yeah, there it is. God of material. Think of its opposite as the god of flesh and can accelerate life from it. Whole kingdoms can be born. So we're assuming that Khonshu/Ra wants to get their hands on this material to basically build their army and take over Wakanda / any other, country / nations, global dominance, or at least dominance in their sector of the world is what they want. She also refers to these mysterious like visions, right? Where, T'Challa thinks he can reason and master this power, right? And it will laugh at you, she says. I love that little narration box, right? And it will change you also. Right. So that's a curious thing. Like T'Challa, is obviously going to the Vodu-Khan for help, but he's also vulnerable in this sense. He doesn't know what this thing is. There's I guess this scary prophecy that he might go and try to use it or master it, and it instead turns on him and makes him scream. I like this. I like this part. You will scream, but.
What if
I will not beg or scream? Go ahead,
in order to make him, because the Ultimate Universe was kind of like, they wanted to be more distinct. There was strict contrast between their 616 counterparts and Ultimate counterparts for the most part. Now, what if, with this whole it will change you, it has life accelerating properties. What if he becomes like a were-panther, like in the Earth X universe, where he was kind of like a panther? Because I think that's how he became like the Panther hybrid, was because of the Terrigen Mist, Now, how else would you make a stark contrast between 616 in this universe, yeah, the costumes are different, but essentially they're getting their powers from the herb and the suit, How else do you make them distinctly different? In the Ultimate Universe, he changes into a were-panther, bro.
Dude, give me that right now. That would be so fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That looks like what it's going for real. Like, that's what I thought when, the Panther was twisting in agony right there at the bottom frame. So I'm here for it, man. Like some Jack Russell?
Yeah.
He eats the bleeding heart herb and like,
yeah.
That'd be great, dude. Oh, yeah. And here's what you're talking about, Link. You may not believe in us or what we got going on. You may not trust us, but we believe in trusting you, right? to protect Wakanda, first and foremost. And she also kind of gives him a stern warning: sacrifice anything you must, right, for Wakanda. So she's kind of laying it all out there.
Yep.
End of our issue kind of gives us this invasive attack by Ron Kunchu, courtesy of this poor farmer that he's extracted from Wakanda, and he kind of like transforms into this this hitman against his own country, right?
Yeah.
At first, the guy is, staunchly against him, and tells him that the Black Panther's coming for him or whatever. But dude transforms him in his own wily, evil, insidious ways, makes him a soldier, and he sends him like teleport. This was curious. How do y'all think he teleported him right into like ground zero? How did he know to do that? Like
that reminded me of what's his name? I know his name is Manifest. From Secret Wars.
Yeah.
That image alone. But how do you guys feel about Moon Knight being a bad guy? Like I'm not too keen with that in this. Like
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
Not really.
Yeah, it's not cool. And like I don't like he just magically dropped him down here, and this was okay, but like he got this way too easily, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like this was he got this free of charge.
Like, bro, this is Wakanda. It shouldn't be that easy to
right.
Just slip in and slip out. Like, come on now.
No kind of way. And there was like no precursor that gave us any kind of information like that he would be able to.
How the fuck did he know where exactly to go,
man?
Yeah.
Maybe
anyway,
just
how?
I love once again Storm saves the day.
Well, yeah, Storm's that chick. She's that chick.
It is Blood Hunt-ish, though. You're right in all the wrong
right time, right.
Yeah, it sucks, but that's true. Yeah, like Storm blasts him. Oh, but he's gone. He's not here. We're like, where did he go? I don't know where he went. He got transported back to Khonshu, right? And the thing is now super small. He somehow shrunk it. I wonder if he had Gru's shrinking ray from Despicable Me. It's late, y'all. Forgive me. That's all I got right now. But yeah, dude, I don't know. That was wild. I was like, how did it get so small? Like, we really didn't get an explanation for that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, our poor farmer, dies and unfortunately in service of Khonshu and Ra, and now he's got this element, and he can build his army and his world of tomorrow. How do y'all feel about moving forward? Obviously, what do you think he's going to do with this? My opinion is he's going to build up some armed forces, and that's
absolutely
right.
Yeah. Shit's about to hit the fan. Hopefully, it gets really good next issue.
So we got one. We got one or two more, right? We got two more.
I would hope. I feel like at this point they need to wrap it up with issue 6. But I could see them going to issue. This is issue 4.
Hold on.
Or is this issue?
This is 5. Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, fellow.
I think they need to wrap it up at 6.
Oh, we're all the way up to 8 on League of Comic Geeks, guys.
Wow.
Okay. All the way up to 8. It could be could be a long haul. Let's see. 8 comes out on September 11th. That's kind of eerie. All right, so here's the solicit for issue 8. Black Panther and Storm take the fight to Moon Knight. Enough planning. Oh my God. It's issue 8 and we haven't started the fight yet. Enough planning. Time for a guerrilla counterstrike against Khonshu and Ra. Meanwhile, Killmonger and Okoye seek allies to aid their cause outside of Wakanda. So don't miss the big gun they call in. Ultimate who? You'll have to read to find out. So it's issue 8 and we still haven't started a big...
I don't know if I'll make it that far.
You're right. 8 is a long
issues. I could see them making this a maxi series. It's just an 8-issue limited series. Then Black Panther goes over to the Ultimates and proposes handling the character. I would hope that's not what they're gonna do, but I could see Marvel doing some shit like that. I don't know. I would want this book to keep going on, but the 8 issues is so peculiar for an opening arc. I feel like it's a little overkill. You know,
Yeah,
that
so he stole the material, but we're not going to get a fight until, well, at least probably 9. Honestly, the way issue 8 sounded. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Scotty. I don't know if I'm going to make it that long, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens the next issue.
Yeah. Next issue, if it's they have some momentum right now. You know, if they utilize that momentum next issue, it could be the saving grace.
All right,
Absolutely.
fellas, real quick before we get out of here, let's get through Void Rivals number 10. Scotty, have you been reading enjoying the Energon universe, bro?
Yeah, I have read let's see, Void Rivals, Transformers, Cobra Commander, and I am reading Destro. So that's yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Me and my boy Link been enjoying this title, especially. I love this one because it's the one you kind of have to do least homework with after you're through with it. Because I'm not a Transformers GI Joe head. Like, are you, Scotty? I'm not. Like,
No. The Energon universe. This was my introduction to reading Transformers and stuff like that. So
okay,
it's all new to me. So I'm having fun with it.
Yeah, man. I love this issue though. We get the kind of the end of our fight from the issue before between Proximus. What's that Transformer's name with the big sword? I forgot it already. Anyway, I love this little bit at the beginning where it's homeboys. It's what's his name? Derek's father, right? And he finds out like they still haven't been killed. Like there have been, you know. They made it out alive even after Proximus got sent after him, and I love that, like his smile,
the smirk.
At the end of the call. Yeah, dude, it was so good, right?
That's good storytelling because it could have just been a throwaway panel, but that's the artist doing his job, letting the audience know like it's more than just the words on the page. You know, the image is conveying like, yeah, he said he wants his son, hunt his son down and make sure he's dead, but that image says differently. So I really did appreciate that panel.
And I love the job by Kirkman of like bringing this back to the family and like the bigger situation. Like that was just such a great way to do it, I think, by including that little familial touch. Such a great, like it just 1 or 2 pages and at the beginning of the issue, right? But it just does its job so well, I thought. Oh yeah. And shout out to Dave Felici on art, just done such a great job throughout.
Absolutely.
Man. Really hasn't missed a beat.
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's been great. But yeah, we get the conclusion of this fantastic fight between Proximus and this. Y'all help me out with this Transformers name, god damn it. Where's Fable? Fable, where you at when I need you, bro?
This isn't Scattershot, is it?
Yeah. The do-gooder Transformer with the giant sword, bro. Help me out. But yeah, so like our girl Solala is still alive. Derek finds out, and obviously he wants to get her medical attention as soon as possible. In the meantime, Homeboy ends the fight in brutal fashion, kind of pins our boy Proximus with the sword, right? Schluck. Some good old like Daniel Warren Johnson sound effect letters
absolutely.
right there, man. I love that. And I love that's how it's kind of like a trademark of this Energon universe. You see this in Transformers, you see this in Cobra Commander, you see this in Destro. Yeah, like the painted neon sound effect letters. I love seeing that throughout.
Me too. Cool.
Yeah, and our boy Proximus has like managed to slip away. I did not see this coming. Did y'all see this coming? I thought that was it for him. Like,
bro, I thought he was done. You know,
yeah. Given the fact that he's already like half put together, but he crawled away. I was like, "Yo,
how?"
My man says one arm and one.
Yeah, bro is a like. I want to know more about him. Like, if ever there was an opportunity for a good spinoff or like side series, man, give me like a Proximus like 4 or 5 issue mini and like just tell me the history of that character. Yeah. Here's our boy, right? And I love his comedy throughout. I'm so glad my friends aren't here to see this as he's like struggling against, because Proximus gave him a fucking fight, man. Like, you got to give it up to that guy. And he does, like, never. I think he says something like, never has an enemy so small giving me a problem so big or some shit like that. But yeah, anyway, it's time to help Solila and get her healed up. So he goes down into this like huge, like amazing Willy Wonka tech factory that he's built, right? Like just wait, he's been there for what at least like 100 years, I think it would seem. Yeah, a couple centuries from the time frame we're given through his stories. And
Dexter's laboratory, low key. You know, Dexter would take his little elevator down to shit. You just see this junker on this moon. This man's got like a high-tech laboratory and shit, just bunker just down in the bottom of this shit. It was dope though.
Oh yeah, great call. Yeah, almost 100 years. He said how long when he asked him how long it's been there. Yeah, and I got crashed and used the pieces of like me and the other people, the other Transformers around me to build this place up, right?
Yo,
so
this is a I got a question for Fable. If you read this, dog, did you like those ports? Obviously, those have been significant since the jump, but I didn't know. I just thought it was like some aesthetic design, but obviously this has like connections to like the Cybertron or whatever. Like they're like a human machine hybrid species. But like, did those symbols, were those like a giveaway to any like people? Because I'm the same way. Like this is my foray into like the Cybertron, and Transformers universe. So
nice.
I don't know, were those like the symbols on the heads giveaway for people who know of Transformers lore, or is that like something new? But when you recognize the energy port, I was like, oh shit, is that something that's already been a thing, or is that new?
That's because it shocked me. Like, he's like, oh, you got an Energon part? And he's like, wait, you mean my mind's eye or whatever? And then she's got one too, and this is how she get healed, right? And as she's getting healed, she gets this kind of this message or this vision from Zerta, like the original, I guess, founding member of her race, or right, because she's Zertonian, isn't that right? Link, help me out.
Yeah.
Because it's Zertonian, and our board Derek is Agorian. So
Agorian, yep.
Yeah, so like she's speaking with the founding member of her race, and that she's telling her that where she's got to go, and I've given you a key, but you're the one. You gotta do this for me, right? And as she wakes up asking about a key, she's there and she's glowing, right? I love that. Great panel by DeFelici, man. On the left, I love that shot. Her glowing. I love the light glowing off the Transformer, and her being healed by that, right? And we get a little shot of the ring, but
there was a cover that was similar to that one panel, I think.
That ring part,
yeah.
Oh yeah, her all glowed up. Yeah, absolutely. So here our Transformer gives us a little bit more history about like the Sacred Ring and everything that happened. Yeah, everything that happened on it. But yeah, he doesn't know what's going on, but they basically have some part of their biological makeup that's Cybertronian in origin, right? And he tells about the Autobots, and our side had been losing the war and barely hanging on, and we heard legend of one of our people who had broken away in the earliest point in our history. Shortly after we gained independence from our creators, she rebelled against them and set out to forge her own race, her own people. And like she finds out like Zerta Trion is her name, like
she's like, oh shit. I was just talking
right? And I was just talking to her. I just got on the phone with her. But so like crazy for her to find out like like the founding member of her race and her people is a former Transformer, right?
That's crazy.
That kind of like broke away, and like the whole Energon and their biological makeup. This is a game-changing episode or issue for Void Rivals in the Energon universe.
Absolutely.
And I love I love this reveal. But I love this like mid-conversation. She's like, "Do you believe him?" He's like the big. I love Derek's humor, dude. Like throughout, it's always such a welcome remedy to the situation. But yeah, nothing he says makes less sense than what I've already seen. So
That's a valid point.
yeah, I love that response, right? And then we get back to our boy, our counselor, finding out that his boy Proximus is missing out on his quest. He can't stand that, so he wants a whole squadron sent out after him. He encounters a little backtalk from his subject, but he quickly rights that ship. And then our issue ends with our boy Derek. Man, I really felt like we were going to live through this for a minute, right? Then they got the whole squadron after him, tanks, the whole nine. So definitely going to be a showdown on issue 11. But yeah, love this issue. One of my favorites so far. I know we just picked back up here with like, what was it, 7 or 8, where they picked up off of the hiatus?
7, yeah.
But man, this was one of the strongest yet of this second arc. But yeah, did y'all enjoy this one?
Oh, it definitely.
Get out of here. Yeah.
It explains a lot,
right? And I can't wait to see how it all ties in with that shared history between them and the Transformers and the Cybertron.
And you know, I got a short attention span sometimes, and for me to be so unfamiliar with this universe, you know, I think it does a great job of balancing lore, you know, for old fans to be enticed by this book, but also keeping it fresh for like new readers such as ourselves to get acclimated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
This is like a great, I think, like entry book into the Energon universe. If you don't know too much about the Transformers or like, you know, Cobra Commander or anything like that, you can pick this one up. Like, this is a new universe as well, and you can kind of get eased into it. So, oh yeah. Y'all check this one out, man. All right, before we get out of here, Scotty, thank you for. I know we went long on time, but anything you want to plug before we get out of here tonight, bro?
Yeah, Comic Book Addicts every Monday. Come hang out with me this Monday. I will have the writer from The Last Mermaid, Derek Kurt Kim.
Dude,
so it's going to be a fun
such a great book.
It was really a great series.
Man.
So it's going to be a fun one. So if you guys aren't doing anything, come hang out this Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, he wrote and draw that, man. Like, he's one of those.
It's a beautiful.
He's one of those next level art. You know what I mean, right?
And I've fallen in love with the little axolotl characters.
Oh my god, same. We were just talking about that on the monthly comic review, dude. And issue 3 with that monster, that shit had me spellbound start to finish, dude.
Beautiful art, book. Awesome writing, really good book.
Yeah, check out. What time you said on Monday, bro?
7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. So
don't worry about them in Cali. They'll catch up when they catch up. Isn't that righty?
Yeah.
Link, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here tonight, bro?
Thank you guys for hanging with us, catching us on the rewind. Thank you for tuning in, and have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Station, y'all. Thank all y'all for coming through. Next week we'll be back at it with Spilio. We'll be celebrating officially 1 year of Supreme Clientele then, so it's going to be a special show. We might do a giveaway or two. We might do something crazy, man. We might get really nuts with it. So y'all come through next Wednesday, the 10th at 9:30 Eastern, as always on the Dutch Dream Fan Club. Scotty, thank you so much for making time with us, man. I love you. Appreciate you. Keep doing your thing. One of the best community members out there. Y'all go sub up to SFawn82 if you haven't already. Until then, that'll do it for us, man. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. Oh, wait, hold on. Where's my brand? My bad, people.